All right, y'all, welcome to the show. I'm still coming at you on vacation. As you all know, it's really not much of a vacation because these assholes never give me a break, man. This regime never gives me a break. It's one thing after the next thing after the next thing. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. In just a second, MAGA is absolutely losing their minds over Jasmine Crockett telling an edgy joke. So we'll dive into that. We'll also get to some huge news that dropped last night, namely that a Democrat won in a Trump plus 15 district in a special election. So it's happening. It's happening is all I have to say about that one. Then we'll get to the MAGA stooge Mike Walls crashes out and lies relentlessly on Fox News to try to save his ass. This is, of course, over Signalgate, where they were discussing the imminent attack on the Houthis, and they accidentally brought a journalist into the group chat, so we'll talk about that. Then we also have just nightmare stories. Columbia student valedictorian who's being hunted by ICE. We have Israelis attempting to lynch, and they tortured an Oscar-winning filmmaker. You guys know, literally just won the Oscar. Just won the Oscar recently. They tried to lynch him. Says a little something about what's going on in Israeli society, doesn't it? And then later on, Jon Stewart steamrolls the fake free speech loving right-wingers who pretended to be all about that life and then immediately flipped on that principle as soon as they got in power and started demanding censorship and started demanding people get deported for hurting their feelings. So we have all that and more. Everybody do me a big favor. You know the drill. Please subscribe below. That helps out massively and costs you nothing at all. And remember, guys, this show literally couldn't be done without the support of all you guys on Patreon. A lot of you guys give $5 a month or $2 a month or $7 a month. Remember, this is real independent media. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser. I've never done an ad read, never talked to a corporation, never talked to a billionaire or a foreign government. We've really tried to fund this show in the cleanest, purest way possible, so you know that when I'm talking, you're getting my real opinions. There's nobody behind the scenes pulling the strings, and that's the bottom line about the show. So thank you to everybody who does support the show, and if you don't, please consider it, but I love you anyway. All right, let's go ahead and dive into it. So, Jasmine Crockett was giving a speech at the Human Rights Campaign, and man, the right-wingers seized on this, and they thought they had one. They thought they were going to gin up fake outrage and try to drag her down because she dares to have a spine and speak the truth and be a little edgy from time to time and not take any shit from right-wingers. So here's what she said, and then I'll give you some more context on it.
Because we in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey. So yes.
So the reason why the right seized on this and tried to make it a big deal is because she's calling Governor Greg Abbott of Texas Governor Hot Wheels. And Governor Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair. He's been in a wheelchair for a very long time, right? And so, oh, how dare you say such a thing like that? It hurts his feelings. It hurts my feelings. This is one of my favorite responses to it. Nazis on this site. So this is like really ableist, guys. Oh, please. Guys, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. My whole life, right-wingers have been able to viciously and ruthlessly go after their opponents in the most demeaning terms possible. And the left always had to do the Michelle Obama thing, right? The Democrats had to say, oh, when they go low, we go high, and that's why we're superior morally. But guess what? We tried that for a really, really long time. It doesn't fucking work, dog. There's apparently zero consequences. If you're edgy, if you're aggressive, there's zero electoral consequences for that. So the right, again, gets to viciously smear anybody and everybody they disagree with. They get to say stuff like this on a regular basis, and there's no accountability. And they want an uneven playing field. They want a double standard baked into our political system where they can say whatever and you can't react to it, but holy shit, if you tell an edgy joke, oh, we're going to try to make it the end of your career. Well, as people immediately pointed out in the wake of this, remember this moment from Trump? This is when he was on the campaign trail in 2016. What you're seeing here is a disabled reporter, and Trump was giving a speech. He said he confronted this guy because he said something that Trump didn't like. And the guy was like, oh, I don't remember what I said and stuff like that. And as he's pretending to be this man responding, he does that with his hands. Now, what was the reaction from the right at the time? Fucking crickets. Nothing. You could hear a pin drop. Because they don't give a fuck. If they decide, hey, you're on our side, you can say, they made, how many murderers have they made fucking spokespeople for the right-wing movement? They did it with George Zimmerman. They did it with Kyle Rittenhouse. Even if you think, hey, Kyle Rittenhouse, it was definitely self-defense, etc., it's one thing to have that position. It's a totally separate thing to say, and now I want to elevate him to a prominent leadership position in right-wing politics. That says something really bad about you guys. So we have to live in a world where you can elevate killers because they killed the people you don't like, but Jasmine Crockett can't make an edgy joke. Well, here's another one. Our favorite dumbass pundit, Batya Ungar Sargon, who's been going around saying, I'm a MAGA lefty, which is not a thing. She made it up. She's grifting, trying to be popular with those people. She comes out and says, when Texas Governor Greg Abbott was 26, he was paralyzed from the waist down. Rather than give up, he spent his life in public service to this nation. From his wheelchair, I am gobsmacked that a Congress member would mock his disability at a human rights campaign event, no less. I'm so angry. Poop face. How dare you say these things? I like this response from David Griscom. After Abbott was paralyzed, he received a multi-million-dollar settlement suing the tree company responsible for his injury. As Attorney General, he campaigned to cap damages Texans could receive from similar lawsuits. Do you understand that? He's trying to make it so other people in his position who got paralyzed because of some horrible decision from some company, cutting corners, not caring about safety, etc. Now, if that were to happen to somebody, Greg Abbott made it so, oh, you're not going to be able to get nearly as much money as I got because I capped the damages. I'm on the side of the companies that paralyzed you. That's what this is. And we're supposed to be angry. We're supposed to be outraged at Jasmine Crockett for making a fucking joke. What happened? I thought comedy was legal. This was the right. Oh, bro, the left doesn't like comedy, bro. They try to censor everybody. They try to shut comedy down, bro. Well, guess what, bro? Comedy's illegal again on Twitter, bro. And then the second, it's a lefty making a joke. Oh, please shut up. We don't like it. So MAGA took a break from illegally bombing countries and tanking the economy and shredding the Constitution and due process. They took a break from those things in order to bitch and whine and moan about a joke they didn't like. Okay, I got more for you. Mediaite reports, Jasmine Crockett refuses to apologize after calling wheelchair-bound Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels. God bless you, Jasmine Crockett. Don't let them twist your arm. And by the way, just so everybody understands, you're out of your minds if you think Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and the Democratic leaders are not on the side of conservatives with this. Assholes like Dean Phillips, people like that will clutch their pearls. Oh, you've been too rude to the governor. So she's going to feel pressure, not just from Republicans, not just from the media, but also from leadership in her own party. And she stood strong. And she said, go fuck yourselves. We're not doing this anymore, bro. We're not doing this anymore. If you guys want to live in a world where there's mutual respect all around politically, and nobody smears anybody else, and nobody does low blows, the left, Democrats, liberals, and leftists are more than happy to live in that world. But we don't live in that world. And for decades now, you guys have been completely and utterly fucking unhinged, saying the worst things imaginable about us. So now, okay, you're going to get a taste of your own medicine and tell me how you like it. Now, by the way, when you get into the specifics, I actually find this really funny because this moment is kind of Trumpian, if we're being honest. So when somebody brings up to Jasmine Crockett, like, oh, you know, hey, do you apologize for that? That was sort of fucked up. She says, I wasn't thinking about the governor's condition. I was thinking about the planes, trains, and automobiles he used to transfer migrants into communities led by black mayors, deliberately stoking tension and fear amongst the most vulnerable. Literally, the next line I said that he was a hot-ass mess, referencing his terrible policies. At no point did I mention or allude to his condition. So I'm even more appalled that the very people who unequivocally support Trump, a man known for racially insensitive nicknames and mocking those with disabilities, are now outraged. Keep the same energy for all people, not just your political adversaries. So what she's saying here is, who, me? I wasn't even talking about his wheelchair, bro. I was talking about the wheels on the buses that he uses to send migrants to blue cities. Now, do I believe that? No. But does that mean I don't agree with her? Also, no. I have no problem with her saying, yeah, I meant this other thing, even though I don't think she did. I'm fine with that. Because how many times? Trump has done this exact same move 7,412 times. And every single time, fucking nothing comes of it. No backlash, no fighting back. Nobody's like, all right, that's it. We're actually done with Trump now. The right embraces him no matter what. So again, now what we're seeing is the Democrats, the liberals, the leftists are realizing, oh, this is 2025. This isn't fucking 1992. I get to say whatever the fuck I want about you and you have to take it. And if anything, you're going to look like the oversensitive snowflakes. Now, I should also point out, guys, I don't want to hear it from people who were literally just cheering Donald Trump destroying the Department of Education. Greg Abbott was cheerleading Trump destroying the Department of Education. What's one of the things that the Department of Education does? Oh, that's right. They make sure we can take care of students with disabilities. That's what that's one of the main things the Department of Education does. Trump is literally trying to abolish it. He's in the process of abolishing it. So you don't get to fucking throw under the bus every disabled child in this country, and then you get mad when one of the leaders of the anti-disability movement gets made fun of and called a mean joke, right? So, Jesus Christ. I got to give you one more because this brought a smile to my face. Quad Carl is a quadriplegic guy who is pretty political and he doesn't like Trump. And he basically came out and said, hey, everybody shut the fuck up. You don't speak on behalf of quadriplegics and paraplegics. I support you ruthlessly mocking this asshole. And so he tweeted this, and it's a picture of Greg Abbott, and it says, Adolf Sittler. So a little bit of a green light here from people with disabilities who are like, you have a complete and utter green light to go after this fucking guy. Fuck this guy and the horse he rode in on. By the way, just to prove the point how horrible this man is, I'll give you one example. There's a bill that they passed in Texas named the Death Star bill. They didn't name it that. That's the opposition's way of labeling it. And the reason the opposition says this is the Death Star bill that you guys just passed is because what it does is it makes it so that the Texas state government basically strips the sovereignty of the city and local governments. And it says, hey, for every county, every city, every town, every locality in Texas, if you guys decide, I want to raise the minimum wage, if you guys decide, I want to make sure that we have extreme heat work breaks so people can survive and they don't fucking pass out from being in the heat and have heat stroke. If you want any sort of environmental regulations, labor regulations, safety regulations, higher wages, etc., what it says is all of the city and local laws, we're wiping them out. You're not allowed to do that. So if you want a higher minimum wage in one of the cities, wrong, you can't do that. We are mandating that you have to have a lower minimum wage. We're not allowing you to put extreme heat work breaks on the books. They call it the Death Star law because it basically wipes out the ability of city governments and local governments to basically be better than the state government. It tries to handcuff them. Now, thankfully, one of the courts slapped it down and said, this is wildly wrong. You can't do this, right? But this is the sort of shit that Greg Abbott tries to do. This is the sort of shit. He wants a lower minimum wage. He wants no extreme heat work breaks. He wants no labor policies like, anti-child labor laws and things of that nature. He is 110% on the side of big business, even when big business fucks over disabled people, right? So I don't give a fuck if Jasmine Crockett meant it in the way that she described. I'm talking about his policies and all. I don't care if she meant it that way. And honestly, I don't give a fuck if she meant it like, yeah, I'm calling you Governor Hot Wheels. Like, you're sitting in a wheelchair, I'm gonna call you that. That doesn't mean I'm saying all people in wheelchairs are a problem. You are a fucking asshole. And that's why I'm calling you that. This is the kind of energy we need. I don't know if you noticed, but Trump being a colossal asshole to everybody he disagrees with actually skyrocketed his popularity with the right-wing base. Maybe it's time the Democratic side and liberals and leftists learn from that. This is a mean era. Stop tying both hands behind your back and then going into a boxing match with somebody holding a fucking sledgehammer. How about you untie your hands and you grab 2 sledgehammers, right? This is the world we're in right now. Gotta wake up, gotta adjust to the reality, and gotta move forward. And Jasmine Crockett did it. And I'm gonna say it again, Jasmine, hold the line. Because this is fake outrage. This is fake outrage. They don't actually care. They view it as like a politically savvy thing to do. To say, oh, you better apologize and how dare you. Because again, they want a rigged playing field where they get to say and get away with whatever the fuck they want to, and you need to abide by all the rules of civility and decorum. And we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing this anymore. I want this energy times 1,000. Let's get it. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.